Little title there says, and my big one, everything you need to know about the Apple M1, including how fast its CPU and GPU really are. I'm sure nobody really cares about how fast the GPU is, but we do care about the CPU. So let's try and keep this short because I have a correction I need to do. And I'm sure hundreds and hundreds of YouTubers should be doing the same correction because we all thought and were understood that this was a 3.2 gigahertz performance core setup for 4 cores and 4 efficiency cores at 3 gigahertz. When it turns out in reality, that is not the case. It is 3.2 gigahertz for performance, yes, but the efficiency cores are only at 2 gigahertz. And another interesting tidbit I learned today, the efficiency cores are in use when you are doing menial tasks like email. But when you're doing something that requires more, then it switches over to the performance cores, which to me would say, we don't even get to use all 8 cores, period. That means we just switch over to the performance levels, cutting off access to the efficiencies. And so we're basically at a quad core processor at 3.2 gigahertz when we're doing video editing and music and other major tasks. And those other ones just sit there and do nothing. So, kind of makes me wonder now what we're paying for. Um, honestly, it should make you wonder too. I think Apple needs to come out with a video explaining how all of this really works in reality so that we can end the confusion all over YouTube, right? So, because some of these channels, like me, are technicians and Apple technicians at that, and PC as well. And even we've been misled in the information that's been handed to us. It's the same as the whole, one website of the entire internet that I found said we had up to 5 gigs of video RAM. Well, if that's actually true, we won't be able to access it with 8 gigs in a base level machine, but we would in 16 gig machine because we'd have the available RAM. But in the 8 gig machine, the only way you get it would be to go into swap, and the speed of the hard drives are definitely going to be slower than regular RAM is, and it's the unified RAM that's sharing everything with the CPU tasks in our software, and our GPU, of course, is using the same unified RAM, which is really fast RAM, right? So it's kind of like we're all starting to scratch our heads now going, what the heck is really going on here? And this is what I would like to know. I want to hear straight answers out of Apple. And I want to know the exact precise amount of video RAM we really do have, because I'm starting to think that that 5 gigs thing is out to lunch only because of playing Minecraft. You cannot go to the fabulous mode. Now, I know from running an Intel Mac that you need at least 2 gigs of video in an Intel Mac to get to fabulous, where 1 gig of video in an Intel Mac, you can only get to fancy. And the PC would work the same way, okay? You need more video RAM. In fact, in the PC, you need more than 2 gigs to get to fancy. Whereas if you have a 4 gig video card easily enough in a PC, you can get to the fabulous. Because I play Minecraft on my PC, and my PC has a 4 gig video card that also shares up to 20 gigs of system RAM. So this allows me to play Cyberpunk 2077, thanks to also having now 32 gigs of RAM under the hood. I can play Cyberpunk at like ultimate graphics and have no issues. Okay, where before it was kind of like even on high graphics, it was pretty pathetic. So, anyways, that being said, there is no way in heck you're going to play Cyberpunk 2077, probably even on one of the M1X Pro machines, okay, which are those two new 14 and 16-inch laptops. But we don't know. We're going to have to run parallels with Windows to find out, and how well it actually does, and do we have to turn settings way down? Because we do know with Tomb Raider on the M1 chip, we do have to turn settings way down to get it playable, which means we can't be working with very much video RAM here, even in a 16 gig machine. So this is starting to make me question a lot of things right now. And as per usual, I know there's been a lot of misinformation on YouTube myself, and I've been trying to learn as much as I can to correct that stuff. And this morning when I watched a video of one of the guys I like to watch from time to time, he's the one that pointed out the actual real speeds of not only the performance but the efficiency cores as well, and what we're really dealing with. But nobody knows what we're really actually dealing with, I guess, when it comes to how much actual video RAM do we have in the GPU. We know that we have 8 cores or 7 cores of GPU in the M1s. We know that we have tons of cores available to us in the M1X and M1X Pros, okay? And we're going to have the same thing again in our M2s. We're going to have different configurations there. We're going to have the Pro level Mac Mini, the Pro level iMac, as well as the Pro level Mac Pro, that are going to be completely mental machines on steroids when it comes to CPUs, GPUs. And we did notice already one thing Apple did nice, which I like, because even in the new the M1X, I believe it's the M1X and the M1X Pro, the one with the 10 cores, 2 of those are efficiency and 8 are performance. Well, that's a lot better. Okay. We need to get rid of all the efficiency cores, period, because efficiency cores are pointless, especially if they're working the way we think they're actually working now against the performance ones. So this has given me a really bad headache. And I'm like, oh man, seriously? More and more of this. It's crazy, guys. It really seriously is. You know, it's like, what is wrong with Apple just saying, hey, look, we got a new fancy chip design. It's really super fast. Yeah, it can, and you know, tell us the whole goods. You know, don't, like, if you want to give us hype, but sure, make sure your hype is 100% bang on. Now, when it comes to how fast the CPU and GPU are, well, we know what the CPUs are doing. The GPUs, we don't really care about how fast this stuff is, because the majority of people don't even understand what a teraflop is. Okay? They don't. Majority of people on the planet don't know what a teraflop is, and we're dealing with 2.6 teraflops. Okay? They don't understand pixel fill rate or texture fill rate. Okay? Now, there are people who do, obviously, which is fine. But come on, you know, you're trying to sell computers to the population, period. You know, even people who buy entry-level Macs all the time, at least get rid of the technical garbage and give people actual statistics. Give us, this is what we're offering you. This is how much better they honestly and truly are over the Intel machines of past, and voila. That speaks more volumes to the population than giving us all kinds of stuff that nobody understands except for a very few. Okay? So, anybody want to say congratulations yet, Kev, for that one? Thank you. Anyways, power consumption, who cares? Now, on a laptop, you want efficiency. So you know what? Apple should build the laptops that they're just all efficiency units as far as base machines go. As far as pro level machines, they should be pro level, which means ditch the efficiency cores. Pro users don't want efficiency. In fact, anybody, period, running a desktop Mac like a Mini or an iMac or a Mac Pro Tower, we don't want efficiency cores. We don't want to, you know, sip 10 cents a year to run our computer 24/7. We want to spend $5 to spend on our power outlet for our computer. We want juice, okay? We want performance, you know, because Mac users buy Macs not just to do video editing and surfing the net and some music. They buy Macs to play games. Everybody wants to play games, and not just frickin' solitaire, okay? Or the cool little 3D chess game they give us. We want to play games, and we shouldn't also have to spend $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 to play video games. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous, right? So what's wrong with spending, you know, $2,000 or $3,000 and you get a machine that is performance, it's got power, it actually sucks the hydrometer going brrr, instead of I'm thinking. Oh, look, I did a revolution. It only took me 7 months. Okay? I mean, seriously, power sipping machines, who cares? You know, leave the power sipping to the MacBook Air. because that's the MacBook Air. Let it be all efficiency core systems. I don't care. It's a basic laptop, for crying out loud. Okay, it's great for students. It's great for basic use, right? Leave it that way. Don't try and make it into a high horsepower machine like they did, because it is actually pretty high horsepower. I will give it that. I'm really enjoying my Air. For once. Wow. Anyways, and I do love my Mini. Don't get me wrong. But Apple really needs to turn things around a little bit better. Okay? Now, I know Apple's been fighting the industry for forever to gain tread back in the industry. Because when Apple computers first came out, they took the world by storm. We're talking back in 76 here. And by the way, for those who don't know, 1976 was also the same year that an Apple employee is the one who came up with the idea for the graphic interface, which then became not only part of the Apple IIgs, but also the Mac was that interface, okay? Because he's shaking his head going, man, we need a graphic interface here. And so he was the cause. He was the starting point of that. That had nothing to do with Jobs, had nothing to do with Wozniak. That had to do with that other employee, which we've talked about on other videos. So we can thank that guy that we have a graphical interface. Anyways, so, and it's been expanded on over the years. And now we've got wonderful machines. And we got some really nice PCs out there too. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not a total snob. I do like my PCs too. But Apple, they really got to change some stuff around. Stop getting technical with people and start getting real layman term, full explanation. They know what they're buying. They know what they're getting into. Tell us what these things can and can't do so we can make a better decision on how we even future-proof. You know, it shouldn't be up to 500,000 YouTubers out there in which a large percentage of them give you misinformation, okay, which is true. Right? A lot of them give you the right information. And me, I give you mainly the right information with the odd little thing where I have to make a correction like today because even I don't know everything and I have to rely on other sources for my information too. So sometimes, yes, I could actually be providing something where it's not entirely correct, like the processor speed for the efficiency core, because I went along with thousands of other YouTubers, what I was hearing from there, what I found of study material online, and now this stuff pops up and I'm going, oh great, now I got to apologize for saying sorry, we're a gigahertz short on the efficiency, which is fine. I don't mind apologizing for my mistakes, at least I can admit to them, and that's fine. So I made a little boo-boo on that one. Okay, and of course the way these things are working, that's another thing. Okay. And I'm still not 100% on that one either, because I don't think anybody really is. Now, I don't like Geekbench scores. I don't even really like Cinebench stuff, because nobody cares. Okay? Honestly, nobody cares. What we care about is it faster than an Intel machine that we're used to? Heck yeah. Okay? Is it way faster? Oh yeah. Okay? Hoo-ah! Right? So we got some performance edge. Do we care if we're faster than a 64-core Threadripper? Heck no. You have any idea what kind of money that kind of machine would cost you? So we don't care. Okay, so these testings don't mean a whole lot to the majority of the people out there. So you can Cinebench your butts off all you want. Real world testing, on the other hand, has proven that these scores that are synthetic are basically garbage, because real world shows the real truth. And I appreciate YouTubers who do the real world testing as opposed to all this Geekbench garbage and Cinebench stuff, okay? And whatever other programs you want to do out there. Now, the one program I do love to rely on for some things is Blackmagic Speed Test. Now, this is good, okay? This is a real test of the drive on a 5 gig load. Now, we're not talking gigabits, we're talking gigabyte load, okay? These drives, they rock. I mean, that is some incredible speeds. You know, I love that. And it gives us an idea how fast our drives are, so we know whether or not we can do video editing or not on an external drive, which, oh yeah, not unless it's a Thunderbolt drive and a fast Thunderbolt drive, because there's multiple levels of speeds of Thunderbolt drives that we've discussed before. Anyways, onward. So this is what we've got. This is where it ends. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Do we really know how much video RAM we honestly have? No. Does Kevy actually think it's probably realistically only a gig? Yes. Why? Because of Minecraft. And because of my experience with Minecraft alone tells me that 1 gig is about what we realistically have here, which is actually less than the 2020 MacBook Air that has a gig and a half. Okay? So, and we might have a gig and a half, but it's highly unlikely. Okay? But it's hard to say because I went from a 1 gig 2013 iMac that couldn't do fabulous right into a late 2015 that had 2 gigs and could. My wife had a PC with a 2 gig video card, and no way was she ever going to get into fabulous on hers, yet I could on the Mac. Macs don't need as much to do it. So we could do it with about a gig and a half. So that's why I say we're probably getting a gig here on the M1s. My PC tower, of course, my tower, has a 4 gig video card. I can go to fabulous and then some. Okay, if it had more, I could go higher with Minecraft. So I base my video specifications of the M1 chip solely on Minecraft. And that gives me a really good point because I know where my experience lies with Intel Macs to these ones, and especially with this particular game on how things get set up. So that's where I'm at. Where are you guys at? I have no idea. Let me know what you thought about this video. And please do accept my apologies for making the boo-boo on the efficiency core part. And I've probably boo-booed as well on how the processors are actually working. Because from what I understand from today's video from that guy, like I said, efficiency cores are in use for menial tasks. And they basically are being shut down when you're going to something like video editing. You're going straight to the performance cores. So we're really not getting an 8-core machine, are we? Well, we kind of are. We're getting 4 cores for low end, and we're getting 4 cores for high end stuff. So, I guess when you think about the difference in speed here, 2.064 gigahertz, let's just round it off to 2.0, okay? 2.0 to 3.2. 3.2 is 1.2 gigahertz faster than 2.0. So times that by 4, so that's 4.8 gigahertz more horsepower that we achieve in total in performance over top of the efficiency level when you do the math that way. Anyways, that's still a lot of extra horsepower on top of the already 3.2 with that. So that's what we're going for. That's what we got. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And we'll definitely catch you guys on the next one. And hopefully it's a lot more fun. See ya.